database. That is from start to end. Today we will be going through 5 topics, that is database fundamentals, Hcm modules, payroll integration points, foundation tables, transaction tables, or what we say employee information. So to start with, we will go with database fundamentals, because since it is an ERP, database also plays an important role here, because each record, when we say before that, we will use some terminologies which we use in PeopleSoft, which is similar, same, but it's just the terminology different. Now in normal .NET or Java project, we usually say tables and columns. Here we say it is a record and fields. We don't call it as a table, even though both are same, but just the naming convention is different. We call everything as a record, and we call the columns in the record as fields. So in PeopleSoft, even if you open any page or any see any field, it is associated to a data record, and that is why database also plays an important role in this ERP product. So just starting from the base, like what is database? As we know, database is a collection of information. Means any information, if we want to collect and store in one repository, that will be records, and that records will be stored in a database. Basically, that database is a repository which stores the tables. Tables will have fields, fields will have information. Now that is a simple database. If we have 10 data tables, those 10 tables will be in one database. Like how we will be using Oracle SQL Developer or Oracle, that is a database. What is a relational database? Relational database is nothing but it also stores the data in a table or in records, but they are associated with each other with common fields. Like there will be a concept of a unique key, foreign key, and primary key, foreign key, and locator key, all those stuff. So how we associate each 2 or more records through common fields or keys is relational database. So the advantage of relational database is that there is data integrity, the data is separated, but also when you want, you can connect the tables and get relevant information. At that time, the join concepts is very critical. Now, when it comes to relational database, now we are talking all from the relational database and from the database point of view. But how to retrieve or manipulate data within the database? How we have Java language for programming, people code for programming, or C# for any programming language. In database also, we have a language called SQL, structured query language, to manipulate data in the databases. In SQL, that language is almost the same regardless of the database, like a Microsoft or Oracle. Yes, there are certain differences in the syntax and the way it performs, but the basic structure is still the same. Select star from table and all. Any questions?
No, good. Thanks.
Now, there are certain database fundamentals. So before going into this SQL language, we have 2 types of database: data definition and data manipulation. When it comes to data definition is nothing but the structure of the data. That means means which all information goes to which all records, and which all information will not be in the records, what should be the primary key, what should be the foreign key, and all. That is the data a character field or a number field or a date field. That is the definition of the data. That for that we use a set of different SQLs, that is insert into table, create table, drop table, alter table. That is the data definition. We usually don't do that in people. When I say we usually don't do that, means we usually don't write scripts for that. When we create a record from in an application designer, PeopleSoft itself, and we build the record, PeopleSoft itself creates and builds this record. So we usually don't write any script for that, whereas in other technologies we usually write those scripts. Here we don't write scripts because application designer itself has the capability to build and execute the script. But in database as well as in the application code, we definitely use the data manipulation language, which is select star from, or insert into, delete, all those stuff. Now I'm going to explain only the key concepts of SQL, but I would definitely recommend you to go through the one site w3schools.com, so that you can get more knowledge on that SQL, because they have a lot of in clause, where clause, this clause, that clause, and that is very critical. But that is very exhaustive as well. So I have taken a few key concepts here, and also in all our session, even till the core HR completes, or till global payroll also completes, we will be going through databases concepts every now and then, because there are few certain concepts which anyone who is working in core HCM module needs to know. So anyways, we are going through, you will be writing a query as well as part of one assignment or part of one session. But that for that, I would request you to go through that site as well, because it has a lot of other SQL concepts which are used, but they are not extensively used in PeopleSoft. But I will be explaining the basic structure so that we are familiar with what we are doing. Is it okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Is it W3 school, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So in a normal select, if we want to, if the database already has the data, all the data, now you will have to fetch someone from the table. So what you will do in PeopleSoft is you are going to execute this query. Select star from PS underscore table name. Star means you're selecting star all the fields from the table name. But the catch here is that in other technologies and PeopleSoft, you have to put PS underscore. You have to put this prefix PS
Yeah.
underscore, or PS directly PS. That is very rare. There are only certain PeopleSoft setup tables where you will put PS role name like that. That will be going through in PeopleSoft security. But in all other cases, if you want to refer any table name from database, not from an application designer, you have to write select star from PS underscore table name. Even if it is a PeopleSoft delivered record or a customized record. This is how the structure. I mean, the SQL select is SQL statement is still the same. Only the way how you put that database, the table name in database is different. That's why I marked it in red.
Yeah. Okay.
PS underscore. So even when you work in any client project or anywhere, you will be hearing these two terminologies as well: delivered record or a customized record. Now, since PeopleSoft is an ERP product, it itself gives a set of records which stores information like a job, employee. We will be going through that once we get the environment.
Yeah.
Those are the delivered records. That means PeopleSoft as a product has given that record to us to use those records. So now job is the record given by PeopleSoft. So if we want to query any record in a job, what we will do is select star from PS underscore job.
Yeah.
But as I said yesterday as well, there will be definitely all the scenarios where we need to customize the delivered product to suit the business needs. So when we are doing that customizations, or when we are building new pages for business needs, we will be creating new records. What is the difference between the delivered record and the new record? As per the standards is, PeopleSoft standard is, you should not start your record name with a directly as it is. You have to use certain prefix. and that prefix should be with respect to your organization / project. Like suppose I have built a page to store employee benefits information, suppose, and that is a customized record, means that I have done only to suit a certain particular project. So how I should build the record is ABC underscore record name. So that is the project standard which we will be following. I am just giving a theoretical example. So in that project, whoever is building a new page, new record, anything new should start with ABC. So in
Yeah.
that case, what you will do is you will query Peoplesoft database with select star from PS underscore ABC underscore record name. Why that happens? Because tomorrow when you upgrade, so Peoplesoft 9.1 was there, then 9.2, now there are PUM upgrades, Peoplesoft Update Manager. You will come to know what all was customized and what all is delivered by PeopleSoft, so that you have to do that mapping, right? Yeah, okay. Considering there are 1000 objects, out of 1000 objects, 500 is PeopleSoft delivered, 500 is we have customized for the project. Am I making sense?
Yeah, understood. Yeah.
So PS underscore will still be the same, but the table name will be different. So many a times you're going to use mix and match of both, because there are few certain, now global payroll, very few people modify global payroll delivered records, because that has a big huge impact, right? So
Yeah.
that time you will be doing PS underscore pay sheet or PS underscore earnings table, PS underscore job. Now those are delivered records, but in between you will also be querying certain customized records. Select star from PS underscore ABC underscore record name, or PQR underscore record name, XYZ underscore record name. Those are all project standards. That is definitely going to vary from company to company, project to project, client to client. So, but that said, the structure of the SQL will still be the same. You still have to put PS underscore, but this will be a good identifier for you to understand whether this is a customized one or a delivered one. You are going to use, you listen to these terminologies many times: delivered, customized, delivered, customized. Why it is very critical? Because PeopleSoft has given its own set of pages and records, and we have customizing that to suit certain needs. So this is a very critical concept of understanding what is given by the product and what we have done.
Yeah.
And if we want to select only a few fields from the table, we are going to use select field 1, field 2, like that. Field 1, field 2 is nothing but column 1, column 2.
Yeah.
Now there are 100,000 rows in any record, and we have to filter it, and we have to select only one row or two row, or we want to select only for a specific employee ID, what all his transitions were. That time we will put where clause. Where
Yeah.
is for condition to filter the data. And order by is required. Order by is nothing but to sort the results according to ascending or descending, whatever manner you want, as per your requirement or as per your analysis, you will put order by.
Yeah.
Now comes join. As we said, in a relational database, each table holds certain fields, and for different set of data we have different set of fields, but by a common identifier or a common field or a foreign key, primary key concepts. That is where the join clause comes into the picture, and that is very critical. I have referred W3 schools and I have placed it only the photo, but definitely we will be going through these join concepts when we will be writing SQLs. So are you
Yeah.
aware of these join SQLs, or we need to, means in the sense, I will be refreshing that again, that's for sure, but you need a thorough, more detailed analysis of joins.
Yeah. I have a understanding of how it works in the joins, and yeah, but I just would like to refresh again. Yeah, but definitely I know this. Yeah.
Okay. Join is nothing but you have to combine 2 or 3 records to get certain details. So now inner join is nothing but, now I have two records, record 1 and record 2. and I want only those records which where the means I'm just trying to give an example. Yes, I want only those fields which are present in both the records, where the common identifier is present in both the records. Suppose I have one record having employee ID, which is the employee ID, and uh, date of joining. And in another record, I have employee ID and first name and last name. Now you want to give a result where you want the list of employees, their name, and their date of joining, their hire date.
Yeah.
So you will join these two records with an inner join because employee ID is the common field. So with that employee ID, you will get all the fields.
Yeah.
So that is inner join because you have one field in common to get all your data, all your respective data.
One field common in both tables, then we can
Yes,
retrieve. Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
that is inner join.
Yeah.
And that will be as part of the requirement also. You will understand that they are not going to, obviously business requirement will never specify whether it is a inner join or outer join because it's a business, right? Business will not know
Yeah.
that, but the way how they write, you'll come to know.
Yeah.
And then you have to check into the table as well, where you have to come to know. And this is why I'm saying this is because this is more from an app dev standpoint, but even when a tester is testing, they should be aware of what is the requirement and they should be aware to write a query to get the optimum results, right? To check
Yeah.
whether the application development has done correctly or not. So
Yeah.
SQL should, in my opinion, SQL should be used by everyone, regardless of what their role is.
Yeah. That's right.
So that is the first inner join. The second comes left outer join. Left outer join, as the name suggests, it's and as the Venn diagram also suggests, everything from the left table and only the common fields from right table. So there is nothing called left and so left outer join is like everything from left side, but based on the requirement, your table may be left or right. It
Mm-hmm.
is because no one is going to write in the business that I want everything this should be left or this should be right. Left outer join and the next one right outer join is almost the same, but it all depends on which side your record is or how you place your record. In the sense, I'll give an example. Now there are two records. In one record there is employee ID and hire date, and in the second uh, record we have employee ID and we have first name and last name. But the point here is that there will be certain employees for whom first name and last name will not be there, but they will definitely have higher date. And just an example.
Yeah.
So suppose record 1 has 10 rows. Employee R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6, R7, R8, R9, R10 with higher respective higher dates. Record 2 has only 5 employees R1, R2, R3, R4, R5 with respective first name and last name. With inner join, you will have only 5 rows because those are common. Are you getting me?
Yeah. I'm getting.
But with left outer join, if you are putting select star from table record 1, left outer join record 2, you are going to get 10 rows. That is from because you have put the record 1 in the left hand side.
Yeah.
You are putting record 1 in the left hand side and left outer join record 2, you are going to see 10 rows. R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, you will have higher date and first name and last name populated. From R6 to R10, you will have higher date populated, but the first name and last name will be blank because they are not there in the right hand side table.
Yeah. So, which means it's all the records display from the left table, but only
Common
the
fields.
common fields, records will display from the table 2.
Yes. Now with the same example, if you put record 1, right outer join, record 2. You will have only 5 rows. It will work like an inner join, because right outer join is nothing but all the fields from right outer join plus common fields from left table.
Yeah.
But if the right hand side record 2 has 10 rows and record 1 has only 5 rows, at that time if you put record 1 right outer join record 2, or you will have 10 rows.
Yeah.
Any questions till now?
No, I'm good with it.
Yeah. And then comes the full outer join. That full outer join is nothing but Cartesian join. That is not the good join usually, because you are fetching all the data from both the records. Then that doesn't serve the purpose of join. So that is full outer join, or you can also call Cartesian join, where there is no sense of any relational database, current foreign key, everything is coming, which
Yeah.
is there is a concept of join, but usually it is not, because then that doesn't serve the purpose, right?
Yeah.
Then comes self join. Self join is nothing like is nothing but inner join, but table and table 1 and table 2 is nothing but the same table. It's the same table. So okay, how we use this self join in Peoplesoft Hcm, but for a very less or very few requirements. Like if we want to know who is your supervisor, if a HR wants to know who is your supervisor or who is your manager for the past 3 years, then you do a self join. The reason being, supervisor is present in the same record as all the employee details. So for the past 3 years means for the there will be effective date field that I will be explaining you, and we'll write this example as well. So you want to get your own details from the same record, but in a certain hierarchy. At that time we will be using self join. It's the inner join, but with the same table itself.
Okay, only one table.
Yes, there will be two records. There will be two record means you are going. It will be like this. Select star from record 1. Alias will be A, comma record 1. Alias will be B. So are you aware of the alias concept?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So it's the alias. So the table name will be still be the same, but we are going to assign a different alias so that the SQL understands, okay, it is like a 2 record, but it's the same one.
Yeah. So we represent alias for the table names, but retrieving only certain
Exactly.
columns, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
Any questions?
No, it's all good. Actually, probably if I get more when I do practically using this.
Yes, yes, and so we will be using self join or full outer join very less.
So most of the times we use inner joins and the self joins, but
yes. And one more thing, I just is a small activity. It definitely I will suggest you to look into w3schools.com, but also I will request you to see like just understand or get with the concept of subqueries, and we can discuss that tomorrow. But it's just an assignment, or it's an assignment for you as well. Not like we need to do anything about that, but since we are going to get the environment, and this subquery will be a critical concept in PeopleSoft Hcm going forward for you and for everyone. We need to know what is subquery, why are we using subquery. That I definitely I'm going to explain it to you. But what are we doing with that subquery, that also I will explain. but I
Yeah.
would request you to just check what is subquery and come tomorrow to
Okay. Yeah.
class.
From W3 schools, the information from.
I think it will. I think it has that information, but even if it doesn't, if you can just Google and understand.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I'll be taking that. Yes, anyways, I'll be taking, but it's just an heads up for
Yeah.
tomorrow.
I'll refresh the concept. Yeah.
Yeah, so that it will be a more interactive, and then we can also continue from there, and it will
Yep.
also
Yep.
be more.
Sure. I'll do that.
Yeah. So these were the database fundamentals, and as we do go on creating SQLs and all, we will be understanding it more.
Yep.
Now comes HCM modules, and I will be taking it again, what we discussed yesterday. So now we are entering the PeopleSoft side. This was the initial part was about database fundamentals, which is part of any IT course or any IT fundamentals. But here now we are coming to specific PeopleSoft modules. So as we see here in human resource, we have workforce administration, which is going to be a critical part for us now. Workforce administration is nothing but, as the name suggests, workforce, that is employees. We have to store employee, we have to administer the employee related information. And core HR is full of 70 to 80% of workforce administration. Then comes competency management. We are not going to use all the modules here, right? We are going to use only certain modules. So competency management, training administration, salary administration, international assignments, regulatory requirements, total comp reporting, position management, recruitment, career planning, variable compensation, health and safety, absence management, base benefits, payroll, benefit administration, pension administration, and there is also time and labor. These are the modules in HR, the HR system. But for do we need everything for payroll? No. But do we need certain modules for payroll? Yes, that is workforce administration. And we core HR will be workforce administration. And when we talk about human resource, yes, there are certain projects or companies which uses all these modules, but there are certain which uses only workforce administration and payroll as well, or benefits as well. So today, anyways, we will be going through workforce administration so that you get the idea of how the Peoplesoft HCM works.
Yeah.
And this is nothing but payroll integration points. And this doesn't matter. And this, to be very honest, this Peoplesoft payroll, when I've written here, these integration points are not restricted to NA payroll or global payroll. This is in general for payroll. So let me, before going into HR as well, I will explain. NA payroll is North America payroll, and it is restricted to US and Canada. Global payroll is nothing but any other country or country's payroll apart from North America and uh, Canada. Why PeopleSoft has these two concepts? Because of the tax rules and also the configuration. USA and Canada has different tax rules, or I would say it is a little bit very constrained in the tax rules. Whereas in global payroll, for any other country, major they have different tax rules, so that is more flexible, and they have a lot of configuration and uh, complexity for the respective taxes. So for tax reasons and configuration only, these two are separated. But payroll as a concept is still the same. So for payroll, these are the integration points. Workforce administration, that is core HR, it's a bi-directional. Means PeopleSoft also refers the data and also stores the means populate certain fields. It is bi-directional. Means it also takes the data as well as populates the data. Whereas for benefit administration or Ben admin is nothing but benefit administration. It only selects the data, because for a payroll, if I'm an employee and I'm getting salary, benefits is a part of my payroll, right? It's not going
Yeah.
to take anything from a payroll, but I'm going to get in some benefits. So that is an input to a payroll. It is not an output of the payroll. So it is an input. Total compensation is an output of the payroll, because we are going to fetch all the salary, we have to check the benefits, we have to do all, get the claims, everything, and then we are going to give the total compensation. What is that? Do that math, plus minus, and then give it out.
Yeah.
Variable compensation, here it is an input to payroll, because with that only the total compensation, the net pay, everything will be dependent. Then comes time and labor. It is an input as well as output, because absence management, based on that absence management data and time and labor, the time sheets, everything, we have to calculate the payroll, as well as they also have certain what is say claims, right? That is also here, which is here. Claims is also an output where the respective employee gets certain things. If reimbursement, if I located from one location to another location, relocated to these two places, then I get some claims, right? That kind of, those kind of things. Then stock administration. Every company has certain stock plans for their own employee benefits. Yeah, we call it ESPP something, employee stock plan exchange or plan, something like that. So that is also a bidirectional for people, so because it takes the input as well as it populates it. Pension is also an output of payroll, because you want to get pension and you have to pay to the pensioners, that is retirees. So these are the integration points about what is the input and what is the source of output as well for Peoplesoft Payroll. Any questions?
No questions. All good.
So in Peoplesoft, we are going to continuously hear two things: foundation tables and transaction tables. So today I'm going to just discuss the theory of this, and it will be, and I will be very honest, it will be a little bit difficult to understand the theory as well. But when we are trying to do that, sorry. So these are the foundation tables, and when we will be trying, when we get the environment and we will be trying to hire a person, or we will be adding certain person in the system, I will also explain you how these foundation tables are related to the employee or related to the system. But for today, how will I explain this foundation table is any data or any processing data which are related to the organization and or to the system, that is foundation table, that or the configuration table or the setup table, setup data. You will hear this common jargon: foundation records, or it's a setup data, or it's a configuration data. That means any data which is related to an organization or to the system or from a planning point of view is foundation table, table, setup data or configuration data. And any data that is associated to an employee, that is transaction data or transaction records. Am I clear? Hello?
Yeah, a bit confusing actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me take an example.
Yeah.
And that you will be understanding that when you will be doing the transactions as well. But yes, since this is a theoretical, this will be tricky and confusing. Let me
Yeah.
take an example. There is an organization ABC. Now they are into, now I'll take a simple example. There is an organization ABC and they provide to three types of payroll: monthly, semi-monthly, bi-weekly, or not bi-weekly, semi-monthly and weekly. These are the three types of payroll they provide. Are you getting me till here?
Yeah, yeah, I'm getting. So monthly, I can say fortnightly or weekly.
Yes, monthly,
Okay.
semi-monthly, and weekly. These are the three payroll options an organization provides to their employees.
Yeah.
Now, these are the three options which are provided by the organization, right? These are
Yeah.
the three provided by an organization or by any system. Like it can be any project, any system, any organization. So those are setup table, because that is provided by the organization, which is the pay group table, which is here.
Yeah.
Because this is provided by an organization, that you have three plans, you have to select anything out of these three. Now comes, I am an employee E1, you are also an employee E2, there will be another employee E3. We three have selected three different payroll. group. That means I have selected monthly, you have selected by semi-monthly, and third employee would have selected weekly. So the same data is associated to an employee, right? That
Yeah.
is transaction, because transaction can change. Tomorrow I can opt for bi-weekly. Tomorrow I
Yeah.
can opt for weekly. Tomorrow you can opt for monthly. Tomorrow the third employee can opt for semi-monthly. That will change. But these three options will never change, or
Yeah.
it will rarely change. I will not say it will never change, because organization can change their data, but it will rarely change. Now, are you understanding the difference
Yeah.
between the foundation and the transaction? You will
Transaction.
be, yes, you will be understanding that while doing the transactions, obviously, that we will be going through when we do the uh, transactions in the page, on the page when we get the environment. But these are the concepts of foundation, or the setup table, or and the transaction.
Yeah. Got it.
So, and I will be going through this configuration while doing the transaction, so that we are aware of how that difference is being populated, because we have separate navigation, separate menu for these two things. But if I will definitely go through this now, but it will be a little bit tricky for you to digest. But definitely you will be understanding this when we are doing any transactions.
Yeah.
So that is the difference between the foundation records and the transaction records. So anything pertaining to an organizational data, or to the system, which rarely changes, and it is not pertaining to one employee ID, but across any employee IDs, they are foundation of the setup table. Because uh, as we saw about the example of payroll, a pay group, how we want to get paid, is an organization. It is not pertaining to one employee. An employee can change that anytime, but they have only three set of values. That is what is foundation or the setup table. Any questions?
No, all good. It looks like I'm understanding, but I don't know until we get to the further.
Yes, but definitely when we get environment, we will be talking about these tables, and I will be giving an overview of these records.
Yeah.
So if you see, the first one is set ID tables. Set ID tables are nothing but, and it is from mostly from a configuration point of view, or from the business point of view. This would already be set up in that environment by the time app dev does it, or any even the testing team test the system. Those will be configured by the business well ahead of in any project. But set ID is nothing but, now since it is an HCM system, and we are talking about HR and manager. Suppose I am an employee and I have a manager, and there is HR as well. So there will now in the same page, manager will be able to see certain fields. HR will be able to see more data, like my salary, my benefits, my every claims, everything. HR can see, but my manager can see only my claims and my salary is dependent on the organization, but all only my job related details. See, because manager and HR have two different functions, right? But they can see my details. At that time, we need to share my data across two different business units, right? At that time, this at ID comes. So what is business unit is, like if I am or if there is an organization ABC, ABC has two businesses. One, suppose it is in supply chain. I'm just giving an example. Those that is one kind of a business for that organization, and another is suppose entertainment, production, movie production. It means there are certain like Sony Pictures or any organization. They have multiple various factors, right, where they have diversified their money and they are into many businesses. So if you are in one business, suppose in supply chain, and an HR in the movie production or in the entertainment industry wants to see your data, that data has to be shared across two business unit, right?
Yeah.
Business unit is nothing but a kind of business for the organization. At that time, this set ID will come into the picture. Anyways, that will be done by the core business team, but these are the set ID will be, and you will be able to see that data as well. And I will be going through that. And that data will be the key to identify the data is being shared across two business unit or two systems, not system, but two or different subunit of the organization.
Yeah.
Then comes company, because each business unit will have its own company, because it is like its own revenue product, right? Like if an organization has a product base as well as an service based section, both are generating their own revenue, right? And that will be like a small company for themselves.
Yeah.
And then there is an installation table, because they will refer the installation table in PeopleSoft to get certain values. Then comes establishment, to understand what is the establishment of those foundation. Then comes location, in the sense, if one company is in location 1, that they will have a different tax. If another company, the same company, is in location 2, they will have different tax, state tax and federal tax, everything. So that is why location is also important. It then comes under location, what department are you in? Finance department, are you in accounting department, are you in development department, are you in HR, any other department? Then comes your payroll frequency, your rate code, your salary, job code, and pay group. These are the set of foundation tables used for all calculation of payroll and all. There are others which we will be going through as well, but these are all related to an organization, right? If you see frequency, you are going to select only those frequency given to you by the organization. You're not going to invent any new. When I say you in the sense the employees.
Yeah.
So that is the difference between the foundation and the transaction. So even if you see, these are all the setup of an organization. So if there is an ABC in 5 location, they have to set up location 1, location 2, location 3, location 4, location 5. If tomorrow if they bring a new location, it will be changed to their system. Then only it is applicable to employee. Till the time they don't set up, employee cannot go there.
Yeah.
And we will be touching these two records while doing the transactions.
Yeah.
Now comes employee information or transactional informations. If you see on the left hand side, it is employee information. Now the first one which we will be going through is workforce administration data. This workforce administration data has two components: personal data and employment data or job data. Then comes administer based benefits page. That means this page will fetch all the benefit plans associated to an employee. That means if an organization has a medical plan and health insurance plan or a life insurance plan, whatever plan the company provides, that will be associated to a respective employee, because employee will select the plan, right? But that plan will be selected only those plans will be selected which are provided by the company or the organization. Next comes payroll. Payroll has two components: earnings and deductions. Taxes will be calculated based on the earnings itself. So it's an implicit component which is not mentioned. We are not capturing any tax related components, because that is from the governments. So these
Yeah.
are from an employee point of view. What is your earnings? What is your deduction based on whether you have taken health benefit or a insurance claim? Anything that can be a stock plan, anything can be a deduction as well. So these are the relative employee information. So once we get the environment, when we will do transaction for personal data and employment data or job data, you will come to know, okay, how this foundation table or the setup data and work for employee data are related to each other. Yes, from theoretical point of view, I will definitely agree that it is complex, tricky to understand. But as and when you do the transaction, and as and when you get accustomed to the system, you will come to know, okay, this is configuration. Because in some cases, you have custom configuration as well. In the sense, the respective project has its own configuration. That okay, we have PeopleSoft gives 10, we need 20. At that time, there will be a custom page which will be acting like a configuration. That also depends on project to project. So, but you will come to know how that is being used.
Yeah.
So this was part for today, and once I just give me 1 minute.
Yeah.
So this was the part for today's session. Once we get the environment, and I got to know that we will be getting that environment today or tomorrow, we can go to the pages, we can do the transactions, and then we will be able to see how the data, everything from the front end, or what we learned yesterday from the front end, saving, entering the data, clicking on save, how the data goes to the database.
Yeah. Is there any references or reference for material that I could actually go through the topics of these?
References as in?
To just like to go through the further information what we
Yes,
have.
that is yes, you can definitely go. There is Peoplesoft itself gives its own environment, so not environment, the own own set of tutorials or set of PDF documents to understand. You can search people books. So what you can do is, yes, you can go Google Peoplesoft for HR people books. So you'll have get one people what is a PDF. You can refer that as well.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So with that, you will be getting, that is a standard Peoplesoft, Oracle Peoplesoft provided that people book. So even we refer that for any concepts or any new, or to see whether something works, or if we want to prove that, okay, this can happen. That is the source of truth for us.
Okay. Yeah.
So you can definitely refer that. And also as an assignment, can you also check on subqueries?
Subqueries. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Yep, I'll do that for tomorrow's class. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.